Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Watercolor Impressions. This week we'll be diving into painting a cityscape, our inspiration taken during a Waterford festival showcasing a big ducky. Let's work together to capture the essence of the cityscape. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you go so you can stay tuned for weekly updates from my channel. And let's get started, guys. Every painting I do, I start with the light sketch, and you can see the reference. It's kind of like quite dull with an overcast weather because everything looks a little bit washed up. But when you have reference like this, we have to make it a little bit vibrant so that it looks really good. I'm also going to change the reflections as well. I'm going to be using an impressionistic reflection, and I'm also going to change the water to blue. So these are the things you have to figure out and have a vision before you paint. And even the duck is like really big. I also changed the proportions a little bit, and I made the duck in a smaller way. And I noticed that after I drew it, I realized that I made the duck head a little bit smaller. But I went with the vision. I'm also moved the buildings on top of the duck towards right because I don't like it's sitting exactly on the top of the head and having a tangent issue. And the three major things in this painting is we have to focus on is the duck, the CN tower, the Roger Center, and rest are like a couple of shapes, and we just do it really fast. So this is like a really easy painting, and I'll start with the clouds first. So I pre-wet the paper with a little bit of yellow ochre in it and with a little bit of white paint. So it just gives this a little bit of a variation. Even though it looks white, I want to have a little bit of warmth in my cloud, and it also goes dull once it dries out. And before it dries out, I'm going to introduce the blue wash, and I'm also taking that blue spill in my brush, and I'm bringing it all the way to the duck and bringing all the way to the bottom of the water. And you can see this also helps us to kill the whiteness of the paper, and we know where exactly goes. And first thing is I want to make sure that I want to focus on the dove first, because duck first and not the dove. And I want to make sure that I'm focusing on the bigger shape. So you can see I did the wash. Before it dries out, I took a clean brush and I bring back the eyelets, and in the reference it looks really washed out and dull, but I want to as I said in the earlier, I want to make sure that I make the scene a little bit vibrant. And I can see the proportions are a little bit off, but once I start painting, I don't worry about it. I just try to have fun and until I see the finished product. And I'm also using a lot on wet techniques. Before it dries out, I'm trying to add those contrast shadow at the bottom as well. So now I'm focusing on the mouth of the duck, and I'm just trying to do the first wash first, and I'll wait for the darker pigment to add it later. And again, I'm using a wet. Before it dries out, I'm adding that darker transition on the duck. So now I'll start with CN tower, and since we kind of fixed the composition, the top of the CN tower I tilted up a little bit. And when you do buildings, and you have to think everything as a shape, think as a single shape instead of thinking of each and individual things. So the basic example of the buildings are the rectangular, and you can see, and at the top it's like bunch of cylinders. So now I'm focusing on the Roger Center, and I'm adding the paper first, and before it dries out, I'm adding a little bit of colors in it. So now I'm going to add a little bit of details on the CN tower. You can see I'm trying to paint really fast, and this video is also sped up, so don't think that I paint this fast. And I'm trying to get the details as much as possible, but I don't want to take CN tower to get all the information. I want to make sure that the duck is the major focal point. And you can see at the bottom of the trees, I'm using some darker pigment and trying to get some eyelets for the umbrellas, which is at the bottom of the trees. And this is a Waterford festival, and there's a little of umbrellas all over it. So I just left some white bits. Since it's super far, we don't have to show each and everything on it. So now there is a platform there. I want to make sure that I add it, and I wet the paper. Now I'm going to take Cobalt Blue and a little bit of Cerulean Blue in it, and I'm going to leave some white bits for the duck where they're sitting. And you can see there's also a couple of yellow floaties I disregarded. But as it comes to the bottom, I made the wash a little bit darker, and that gives a little bit of a transition from foreground to the midground, and it also enhances perspective and depth as well. And since my paper is wet, where the platform is sitting, I'm going to introduce a little bit of darker pigment, so it bleeds on the water, and it gives this impression of reflections on the water. So I'm trying to achieve that. So as I said, I'm not going to do the reflection as it is. I'm going to change it a lot, and I'm going to leave the water for now, and I'm going to add the details for the buildings now. So when you add details for the buildings, try to think everything in a smaller shapes, and try not to get too caught on the details. Try to make a little bit with a single stroke. If you can try to do every details in a single stroke, please try to do it. Don't try to go and paint each and every windows. So there is also a darker pigment on the Roger Center, and my darker pigment inside the platform dried up quite a bit. So now I'm adding the reflections. So there's like auto reflections on the water, and I'm trying to make up the reflections by seeing the pattern on the water. I'm using the reflections for the CN Tower, and I'm also making sure to reflect some of the trees as well. And this is the duck which is reflecting on the water, and you can see there's a lot of reflections of the water on the yellow spill, but I made the reflection as impressionistic as possible, as simple as possible. And one thing I realized that when I did the reflections, I made it a little bit busy. I should have made it a little bit simple as possible, but so be it. I persevere and I went with it. So now I'm adding some darker details on the duck. So this is how watercolor works. Think everything as a layer approach. Don't try to do the details right away. Do the first wash and do the light wash, and then do the midtones, then add the shadows and the darker pigments at the end of it. So don't try to if you try to add all the details, you can't align the values properly. While you're painting. So now I want to have a couple of details. I saw a bird at the top of the reference, so mine as well. It looks really empty, so mine as well add this floaty feeling on the sky. So add a couple of birds here and there, and if nothing, it shows that it's arborfront without the birds. And I'm also trying to have that impact on the duck and the CN Tower. I always tape my watercolor painting so that it shows how my painting gonna look like, and it rather came out nice. I think I captured the essence of the scene, and I also made it vibrant, as I said. And now it's your turn. You can download the reference from my website, or you can find your own reference and use the techniques I showed you in this tutorial, and let's see what you can come up with. Thanks again for watching this duck painting tutorial. Please feel free to share your thoughts on the video in the comment section below. If you have any other topics related to watercolors that you'd like me to cover, please reach out to me at watercolorimpressions@gmail.com or leave a comment down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for weekly uploads, and share with your fellow artists, friends and family. And good luck with your painting, folks.